Are we dead? Okay, hold on. Welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday, and I'm so glad I don't have an appointment in the morning. Because it is late. But that means that I can, because I don't have an appointment, as I have for the past like a week or so, that means I can just record as much as I want. Oh, what a beautiful thing. To not be so limited. No, honestly don't even know why I'm auto-battling these fletchling when they're worth so little experience at this point, but might as well. No, he can't get it? Okay. Yep, what level do you evolve at again? Also, we're definitely high enough level to take on the bug gym, but whatever. I'm probably not coming back to this area after I do, so I might as well get the most out of it. That's kind of... I talked in an earlier episode about how I'm one of those players who tries to get the most out of a game, and I think that's part of the reason why. Is because a lot of the time when I finish a part of a game, or even a whole game, chances are I'm probably not coming back to it. And maybe that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I don't come back to it because I've already seen so much of it, but... Or maybe it would happen either way. I'm not sure. But I think, you know, it happens at least one way or the other. Where either I don't come back to the game because I've seen most of it, or I see most of it because I'm probably not coming back to the game. You know. Right? I guess ultimately it's FOMO, right? Because I don't want to miss out on what the content is. So yeah, fear of missing out. Whatever content. But of course, you could argue that because I watch other people play the games that I've already played, that also I end up getting that content. But I don't experience the content for myself. I experience it through a third party. I guess it would be a third party. Yeah, third party. But I don't know. I think we're maybe getting a little pedantic here. Hey, look, a gimme ghoul that we're going to bite to death. I mean, it's a ghost, so it's kind of already dead, but I mean, that's the implication anyway. But also, after watching videos, I realized that, like, the types aren't always literal. Like, not all steel Pokemon are actually made of metal. Some of them just have steel-like properties. I mean, there are obvious ones that are, like Magnemite or something, but yeah, not every grass Pokemon's actually a plant. Some of them are just, like, I would suspect that I'm on, like, Sprigatito would actually be more cat-like than plant-like, but, you know, has an affinity for plants, you know? Kind of like... nerdy example incoming. Kind of like how wizards have affinities for various schools of magic. It's not exactly the same because wizards study to gain their powers. I guess more like sorcerers, like a draconic sorcerer. Yeah, with their blood type. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably better examples, but it's the first one I thought of. Do I have one? Probably. Terror Orb. Yes, right. I forgot that's what you asked about. Youngster. You know what else I have? Rocks. That are going to crush your butt. Get Shrek'd. You know, I feel like this is just random thought off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a reason they don't do this. But I feel like for trainer battles, they should still give the full amount of XP regardless of your level. Like, I can understand adjusting experience based on level for wild encounters, and especially for auto battling, because those are just super repeatable. But trainers, as far as I know in this game, you can only fight each trainer once, so can't really take advantage of getting a little extra experience. And, you know, trainers were always meant to give more experience than wild Pokemon. I think that's been true in every Pokemon game. I don't know. Not sure. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's still true here as well, but it's less obvious when you're over-leveled. I don't know. I guess I can understand why they didn't do it, because they were concerned about people like me getting over-leveled, like I absolutely am. Look at this squad. Way too high level. Like, I've almost evolved my starter twice before we were taking on what's supposed to be the first gym. That's fine though. Well, they all dispersed. That's why Yip wasn't taking out more of them. Don't go for the Diglett. Here she goes. There you go. Good job, Yip. Again, don't really need to do this because they're not giving a ton of XP, but it adds up. It adds up. We all know it adds up. Get up. I think they do. I think the Pokemon do run from you based on, I don't know, maybe it's based on the species of Pokemon, but I think it's mostly based on, what? Oh, it's a Starly. Got it. I think it's mostly based on what level you have. Might even just be as simple as what level you have in front, whether Pokemon run from you or not. I know in Arceus they have the 3 types of Pokemon, where, you know, you've got the docile ones, you've got the aggressive ones, and you got the scared ones. But I think in this game they've probably just they probably stripped it down to 2, the docile and the aggressive ones. And then they made it so any Pokemon can run from you if there's a high enough level difference. Oh, I guess you could probably test it by having a low-level Pokemon in front and having a Pokemon, you know, having one of the docile Pokemon just kind of stare at you, and then switching to a higher-level Pokemon and see if they run away. Could do that. I can't really do that here because all of my Pokemon are kind of high-leveled, but certainly for this area they are. I mean, Happini's going to give good experience, right? Not really. Speaking of aggressive Pokemon, I still don't like Mashif. I'm glad that in the last batch of Violet I got to see its evolved form, because it makes me feel a lot better about the first form, but yeah, I don't like Mashif. I like Mabostiff, except for the name. The name's a little weird, but I like its design. The first form, you know, it's kind of, I feel like that's kind of opposite of how it usually goes. I feel like most of the time, most people will like the first form of a Pokemon most, or they'll like the first form and then they won't like the evolved form. Because everyone, like, you know, everyone when they're playing a new Pokemon game or a Pokemon game that's new to them, they're like, oh man, I hope this Pokemon doesn't evolve into something ugly or whatever. but you really don't hear about the reverse of like, man, I hope this Pokemon evolves into something super cool. Not that I'm saying my boss stiff is super cool. It's neat, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I guess because you probably already know how you feel about a Pokemon, and you're less likely to raise a Pokemon that you don't like the first form of, if you catch the first form. What do we want to do with this Gibble? You don't have any Ice or Fairy. Not anymore. So Sabrina, I guess? You'll resist a ground move. I feel like... I don't remember. I almost want to check. This is something I could feasibly check because it's something from an older game. I feel like Drain Punch used to be 60 power. But if it's 75 in this game, but I feel like it used to be 60. Which makes me curious why they would buff it. Probably to make it a viable option in comparison to like Brick Break. Because fighting types have a lot of good options for moves, actually. It's like Drain Punch, Brick Break, Cross Chop. Cross Chop's 100, isn't it? It's basically the Earthquake of fighting moves, if I recall correctly. Not so much, I guess there's not so much on the special side. You've got Aura Sphere, which is 90 and guaranteed hit, if I remember correctly. Which is solid, but like it's like the only good special big fighting move. Which kind of makes sense. You don't... Fighting is a type that makes sense to be more physical than special. And that is kind of something I noticed, is that something they do in Pokemon games, or at least more recent Pokemon games, is that they kind of give each type its own mechanical identity. Like I said, the fighting type Pokemon are usually physical attackers, or like psychic type Pokemon will often set up screens or do other setups with like Calm Mind and stuff. Rock type Pokemon are usually have high defense. Same with Steel. And it's interesting. Oh yeah, and Dragon type Pokemon are just typically OP. They have high stat totals usually, and they evolve late. Of course, that was always true, but except for the dragons that don't evolve, like Druddigon and Drampa. Drampa was an interesting one. Remember, Jacob and I used to call it Uncle Drampa. Because it just kind of has that energy, you know? I wonder if Drampa's in this game. I haven't seen it. Also, I think, if I remember right, Drampa's normal dragon. Which is interesting, because Cyclizar is normal dragon. Which means Cyclizar is not the first normal dragon. Which is amusing to me. I don't know why I sent Yip to auto battle a Drowsy. I mean, the level difference means it's fine, but I've kind of made it a trend not to auto battle unless I have type advantage. It's got to be tough for people who don't know their type matchups when it comes to auto battling, because it's kind of important. Just a little bit. It's almost the most important thing. I think I missed this with Scout. Stealth Rock. I mean, if the NPCs ever get into competitive strats, maybe. Hold on. That is ridiculously effective. Get it. Oh, man. Is it time for next time already? I think it might be. Because, as for this episode, that's a wrap. Smooth holiday. Smooth.